to have our online auction going right now. Before we get started showing you art, talking to board members, talking to some of the artists, before it all starts, we want to show you how you can bid on those art pieces. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to our homepage, which is Box Factory for the Arts.org. There you'll see Join In, Raise the Box. Click on the red button that says Go to Event. Scroll down a little and you'll see an Aqua Online Auction button. You hit that button and it will take you to the Better World site. Better World is the organization that we're running the auction through. They provide free auction for nonprofits, and they are charging us. But you will see when you're there that if you bid on something, they have a suggested tip. So if you feel like it, please support them too, so they can support more nonprofits. You can see all our art there close up, and you'll see the things that we don't showcase tonight or that were showcased that were showcased previously. So if we're ready, let's look at some more art. All right, what you're going to be seeing now is Diane Seeley. This is called Primaries 4. It's a 16 by 20 acrylic. It's got gorgeous colors. I hope all those are coming through. Very vibrant. And then next to that, we have a piece by Kristen Hosvine, a 12 by 12 oil. Kristen's work captures the essence of life in the moment with brushstrokes of color. Her website is kristenhosvine.com, and she's also on Facebook. And then next to that, we have another one by Diane Seeley. This is a 12 by 24, and this one is Primaries 3. So it's Primaries 4 and Primaries 3 that we have from her. Then we have some interesting prints by John Owen. And if you've ever been to Maine, you know that's what it looks like. We have Harbor, Maine. That's a 16 by 20 framed print. And we also have another one by John Owen called Bowie Harbor. And that's a 16 by 20 framed print. Then, for a little change of pace, we have Michael Graham's, right over here, Michael Graham's 3-piece ceramic bird feeder. Here, let me show you this bird feeder. It's a 3-piece bird feeder, and I gotta tell you, the older I get, the better I like birds. It's a beautiful piece. The glaze is gorgeous. And then we have, oh boy, and a lot of them. There we go. I hope you can get a shot of these. We have Dr. Bob Campsmith. He has assorted ghee clay. I looked that up. If you joined us last night, you heard me call Chef Narlow Chef Narwhal several times. This time I looked up the pronunciation. But those are note cards, some with flowers, some with lighthouses, some with pottery. You can also go to the website to see the variety that is there, because there are a lot of those. So, hey, if you're just joining us now, you got a little late start, here's how you bid. You're going to go to Box Factory for the Arts.org. There you will see Join In, Raise the Box. Click the red button that says Go to Event. Scroll down, see the online auction button. Click that button, and you'll be taken to the Better World site where our art and experiences are shown. Now, let's go over and join some of our artists and board members. Oh, hey, over here we have our artists and board members. We have here a very special group of people. We're joined by Judy Sokolowski, Jennifer Tomshak and Scott Gaines, who are all on the board, and by our artist, Meredith Schmidt. And we just wanted to acknowledge what you guys are doing and have you talk a little bit about the box. So if you could tell us what your position on the box is, and while you're talking about that, how'd you become a member of the board? Let's start with Scott, who's pointing at Judy.
Ladies first.
As the only gentleman.
I'm vice president of the board. Judy tasked with the maintenance and building the ground of the box, so I pretty much live here.
Yeah.
Trying to keep things going, and
Is it true we've seen you on the roof?
been on the roof a lot.
Okay. All right. And how long have you been a board member, Scott?
So I've been on the board for 2 years.
Okay.
My third and final year.
Judy's shaking her head. No, I don't think that's good. They're not going to let him go.
Yep. So I was actually, I wasn't elected, I was appointed. So
And you're a photographer too.
photographer, I have a studio on the 3rd floor, the nicest studio in the place.
And you also have something in the art in the auction today. I know you have a.
I donated a family portrait session.
All right. Jennifer, we'll just keep going around. Jennifer, you're the newest member of the board. Is that correct? Am I correct in saying that?
I'm
All right.
brand new, so I've worked for 2 months, maybe, not even, yeah, brand new.
Okay. And if you wouldn't mind telling us how you got to know the box, what brought you?
Sure. So
Do
I've been
this.
a member of the box for 2 years. I joined a citizen relative to town, and it's just been a great opportunity. It's a wonderful place to connect. Arts. And I encourage anyone else who might be in town to think about you because all credit, there's tons of opportunities.
I especially like when you do mention it's a community center. It really, that's what the box is all about, bringing people together, artists and those who appreciate arts. That's wonderful. We'll jump to Judy and then we will come back, Meredith. Judy is president of the board, correct?
I am
And
president of the board, and I've been president of the board before. I've been on the board forever.
all right. But and you've been involved with the box factory for how long, Judy?
Right. Well, when we moved here, I think it was in '96. I came into the building, and Bob Williams, who you'll meet later, was in here doing some kind of scrubby work, and it was a mess. This place was a disaster. And I thought, well, this is a good place to meet people. Artists are good friends, and I'm not an artist, so I just wanted to help out. I thought there was something I could do, and so I joined at that time, and I've been involved ever since.
Hey. And Meredith, how long have you been here? You're an artist here at the box,
I am
correct?
an artist. I have a studio here on the 1st floor, and I'm a nurse by training. And when I retired, I had an opportunity to go to the School of the Art Institute in Chicago, and I received an adult certification in painting and drawing. And that was wonderful. And then my daughter had a piano at home, and the box was looking for a donation for a piano. So the director, Mike Murphy, called me, and he came over to my house and he said, wow, he saw some of my work downstairs that I was just puttering around with. He said, you need a studio. As a good salesman he was. And I said, really? He said, yes, you do. So he took my piano, and as a consequence, I have a studio here. I've had a studio here since probably 2009, 2010. And I'm so thankful for the box. It's just very, very special, nurturing spot for artists. We can throw things off each other. Wonderful opportunities. People come in, chit chat, it's all good. And it encourages my growth in art
Wonderful.
by having all the symbiotic relationships that
And you have a piece in the show as well. It features poppies, your favorite flower.
my poppies. I lived in France for many years as a child. And that's just always become a special place in my heart. And so I made a lot of poppies.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I do want to mention that Jennifer, you also have a piece in the auction. It's a photograph of the sunset. So look at those. And Judy, I'm going to point this out because we talked about you're not an artist.
No, I'm not an artist, but I support all the artists, and that's my role. And I believe that artists need somebody to herd them around because sometimes I get a little sidetracked. And you do. So that's my role. No, I'm not an artist, but my degree, as is Jennifer's, is in journalism. But I go back a long ways with journalism, long way before Jennifer. So we do share that.
I didn't realize that. That's exciting. That's cute. So there are so many places that need volunteers, and you choose to volunteer your time and talents here. What would you say your strongest talent is? I'm going to ask you to brag about yourself a little bit here. Or how about this? What do you see as the strongest talent in each other?
Like a contest or a game show.
Yeah, there you go. And I'll tell you if you're right or not. Let you know what you won.
I just enjoy the atmosphere, like Meredith said. It's a wonderful place to be. I choose to spend my time here. It's my decompression time from my real job, which is stress. So it's my way of giving back, participating.
And I know you're exceptionally grateful for
Right,
Scott, what he brings.
Scott, yesterday you should have been here. I came in and I wanted all this furniture moved. So I said, Scott, can we do this? And so before I knew it, he had all this furniture rearranged just the way I wanted. I asked him if Kim asked him to do this at home, and he said, not really. But whatever we ask him to do, he takes it on. I mean, he's the plumber. He just does it. Plumber, painter, whatever. Photographer.
All of it.
Right. Yeah.
And Jennifer, being so new, I don't want to put you on the spot, but being so new, what do you feel like you want to bring to the box?
Well, one of the things that first drew me to was the building. It's really spectacular building. And I really believe that all people are affected. Artists are particularly sensitive of their consciousness. And so I just think the actual building itself, interior and exterior, is such a treasure, not only to the artist. So hopefully I'll be able to bring my marketing skills to us.
Oh, that's wonderful. And Meredith, what do you say to these people the board, who work so hard for this building and for the artists who are in it?
I give you so much gratitude. Without you, without your leadership, can't be. And these are difficult times, very difficult times, having to be all of that, but we continue to come together as a family. And I just can't all more.
Well, I want to thank all you guys for joining us. I want to encourage people to become members. Being a member doesn't mean you necessarily have to be an artist. You just have to want to be a part of this community. So become a member. And I think there's always a need for volunteers, isn't there?
Absolutely.
I mean, so
We're
we,
a lot of
especially when we're allowed to be open. And we're looking for opening in about sometime in September. And what you see them actually sitting in front of is the art shop, the expanded art shop, which will feature more art by the artists here at the box.
And I would like to say the board would like to thank Kate Ulrey for stepping up her role, because she formerly was a board member here. She left us, but she didn't really leave us because we threw her back in. And Denise Barowitz is behind the camera. Thank you so much for your work out this auction.
Oh, you're very welcome. It's fun to be here, and the box draws you in and keeps you there. Remember that, Scott. Okay, great. Well, thank you guys so much. And now, if you're just come around. Look, if you're just joining us, we're at Raise the Box, an online auction for the Box Factory for the Arts. This marvelous, wonderful old building where artists and people who support the arts can gather together, and this cherished place in our community. We'd like you to help support it. So why don't we look at how we do that now? We're going to show you how to help us raise the box. The first thing you're going to do is go to our website, boxfactoryforthearts.org, and then you're going to see join in, raise the box. Click on the red button that says go to event. Scroll down, you'll see an Aqua online auction. Click that button. You'll be taken to Better World, which is the site that is running the auction for us. They are doing that for us free of charge, and it is free to you to register. But we encourage you, they have a tip line there. We encourage you to tip them because they're doing this for nonprofits, and it helps us all. When one of us rises, we all rise. So take a look at the art that's there, because all the art that we're showcasing tonight and have showcased the last 2 nights is there. All right, we're going to go before the sun goes down to Gary Cook's sun catchers. Let's see if we can catch the sun. Gary Cook's sun catchers. Hi.
Hi there.
Hi, Gary. And we're here with Gary Cook. And here are his beautiful sun catchers. And we're getting the last of the light coming through the window. So I hope it's showing up as beautifully there as it is here in person. And welcome, Gary. This is your stained glass. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I got interested in stained glass while I was in college. This is back in the 1970s. And that's when I first started cutting glass in the late 70s. I've been active on and off. I came here to the Box Factory 3 years ago, so I had a permanent place to have my tables and tools and place to store my glass, and it's just been wonderful being here.
Oh, well, we're glad you're here. It's nice. Now, you have not always, I mean, you've always been an artist, but you were also a chemist.
That's right. I was a dual major, artist and chemistry.
That has to be one of the strangest double majors I've ever heard.
The colors in glass, pure chemistry going on there. There's a lot of chemistry in all art.
Yeah,
Paint pigments, for example.
yeah. Well, they're beautiful. The colors that, how do you go about making a piece? Can you kind of give us a little, not that anyone will follow along and do it at home, but just a little walk through.
Sometimes I interest.
Oh,
Where I got this is not my original design. I just love it. I couldn't resist it. Others, I take photographs of leaves and I print them, I draw them, I scale them. They're relatively easy to make.
these are beautiful, as is this. I'm thinking Valentine's Day here in the fall. I
That's
guess
right.
we've got some things that people would like.
I've made dozens of leaves. They're very popular.
All right, so you're telling me that if I'm outbid,
Yes.
I can still buy one.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right, that's important. What inspires you? I mean, obviously Pinterest, but what other things inspire you? What makes you say, I want to take that to glass? I want to take that form to glass.
I like to go to art shows, other glass artists. There's a glass artist in downstate Illinois that just blows me away. I like to visit glass factories, for example, the one in Kokomo, where I can see the work of other people. Museums, I thrive on that stuff.
So it must be nice being here among other artists.
Yeah.
In the box, because
That's right.
yeah, they're all here. So you said you've had a studio here about 3 years?
Yeah.
Now? All right. And what is it that drew you to the box? What is?
I've been here for a number of shows. I've been here for a number of performances, and I looked around, put my name in for a studio, and about 1.5 years later, I got a call. Well, we have space open up. Are you interested? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was perfectly timed because I just retired, so I needed something to keep my hands busy, hand-eye coordination, that kind of stuff. So it worked out great.
Are you here most days? I know we're closed now, but when we open, if people are walking through, will they see you?
Usually on weekdays I'm here.
All right.
More in the winter than in the summer. I've got other projects going on in the summer, but in winter I like to come out here and hang out.
All right. And how do we get in touch with you? If somebody's looking at your glass and thinking, oh.
My studio's down in the southeast corner, down on the Riverwalk level.
Mhm.
Down in the southeast corner, you'll walk around, you'll see like a display room, and you'll see more of my pieces, bigger pieces, really big pieces. I got my card here you might want to focus on. That's my email address and phone number, how to get a hold of me.
All right, yes, and that's.
I don't know if you can see that or not.
justscience@hotmail.com.
Just science, all one word, at hotmail.com.
Right, and there's a phone number there as well, and if you look him up, you'll find the phone number.
That's right.
Do you do commissioned work at all?
Absolutely.
All right. See,
That's probably the bulk of my work.
oh, okay. So if you have something that you want done, my husband, if you're listening, how about that window? Let's get in touch with Gary Cook. He's here at the box, and thank you so much for being here and for donating your art. Really appreciate it.
Welcome, or thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. All right. Hey, we're going to turn to something a little different now. How about some jewelry? And again, husband, if you're watching. All right. Here we have, this is Susan DeMeester's work. Both of these pieces, if you can see it here, I've got my hand in there so you can get an idea of size. This is copper, leather, and crystal teardrop necklace. And then there are also next to that crystal earrings. They're 14 karat yellow gold filled French wire. She's here at the box. These are just gorgeous. These are Swarovski crystals. Now there's a word I'm having trouble pronouncing again. All right, so there we go. Those two just beautiful. And we also have, get these. This is by Lin. There we go. How's that? I hope the lighting's showing this off too. This is Lin Tan. This is a double pendant necklace, porcelain clay that is lightly sanded after it's fired so that the surface is smooth to the touch, and it is. It's beautiful in your hand. She doesn't apply any glaze so that the organic rawness of the clay's muddy origins can be fully appreciated. Lin has been part of Art Prize and different large exhibits, and she is at lintan.com. And so you might want to look her up. Then, if you're looking at our website, we have a couple of other pieces that aren't here in our gallery right now by Carol DeRucchi. There are two semi-precious sets. One is a green fire agate Amazon night, Amazonite. There we go. I got it. Amazonite. And that's kind of a green one. It's pewter and silver in there too. And one is composed of black lava stones. And that's got in fired red ceramic. That's more a black and red look. But check on our website for those on the auction site. All right. And speaking of that auction, let's go again with that. You're going to go to boxfactoryforthearts.org. There you'll see join in, raise the box. Click on the red button that says go to event. Scroll down a little and you'll see an aqua button that says online auction. That will take you to our site, which is being manned by Better World. And that's the site that does these auctions for nonprofits. And you can bid on them all you want. All right. So now we're going to go with another artist. Come on over this way. Hello, David Baker.
Hello, how are you?
I'm just fine, thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. So David is here. This is his piece, and I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about his art.
Thank you very much. I am a lifelong artist teacher. I kind of self-identified as an as a child. I don't know where that came from. There weren't any artists in my family. I liked doing it, and I guess was told I was good at it, and followed my passion. So went to art school. I had a teacher mentor who, when they found out how serious I was, insisted that I come along and be his sort of understudy. And the work that he got, Max Meisner is his name, the work that he got out of those little children just astonished me. He treated every single one of them as though they were artists. And I said, art education is what I want to do. So I completed my undergraduate degree in art ed. I was a public school art teacher for 8 years. When I went back and earned my Master of Fine Arts, I then moved to the college level, and I spent 36 years at the neighboring Southwestern Michigan College. Retired 3 years ago.
Let me ask you, do you miss teaching, or are you still doing something?
I'm still doing a little bit, still keeping my hand in. Occasionally I miss it. I retired really to just have more time to paint. I was always working, but even more time. I still do a little bit of teaching. I teach up the street at the Crassel Art Center. And the School of the Art Institute of Chicago has a summer facility near Saugatuck called Oxbow. And I've taught there for about 20 years.
Wow.
So I did a little summer teaching up there. Yeah.
Still in that.
Still keeping my hand in. Right.
All right. All right.
This piece is a part of a suite of works that I did for an exhibition down in Buchanan. It is watercolor. The city of Buchanan has an historic water-powered mill. Piers Mill is the name. It was built in the 1840s. And they have restored it, so it's operational. The Historic Preservation Society opens it up and lets people go. And I had an exhibit scheduled at the Buchanan Art Center. And so I thought, well, here's a nice marriage.
Yes.
So I did a set of 13 of these pieces. These differ a little bit from much of my work because much of the work that I do is done, the French term is en plein air, outside in the open air. And I love that, but it's not the only way I work because the mill is just open limited hours. I work from photographs for these. This one is in the auction here. I have several of them staged in my studio, 209, here at the box, and several of them have found permanent homes. So,
wonderful.
it's real nice. I did it because of the historic association with the mill in that age. I did them in more or less black and white sepia tones. They kind of suggest the age of the place. That's kind of where that comes from.
Oh, they're beautiful. I hope this is photographing as beautifully as it really is, and the detail is incredible.
And I brought along a couple of other things that I'm working on currently. Can I show?
Love to see those. Yes. Show us what you're doing.
I got a Facebook question. As I say, I retired, so I'd have more time to paint. And when the COVID pandemic struck, everyone was locked indoors, and someone who apparently didn't know me well said, "Gosh, what are you going to do? When you're locked indoors?" I said, "I'm going to make paintings." And they said, "Well, what happens if you run out of paint?" And so I got a card table out and piled it with my oil paint in a stack about this deep. and posted on my Facebook page. David Baker Painter
Yes.
posted on my Facebook page and said, "Isn't that cute?"
Yeah.
So I've been doing lots of painting.
And so you're still good. Still got it.
Well,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly, that worked out. I'm working on a current series. I have two things going simultaneous. One of it is a project that I started in January and would run clear through about October. It is a set of 4 banner-sized paintings. They're 5 by 6 feet.
Oh my gosh.
And I was invited into a group show in the fall, and so I was working very steadily toward those.
Mhm.
These are rather elaborate, and they're done in acrylic and lots of layering, and they take probably 6 to 8 weeks a piece to do. So I was figuring out by the months, and I had it all mapped out in my head. And now with the pandemic, they've postponed the show for a year, which probably means now I'll have to do 8 instead of 4. But
And where do you keep these?
well, those I'm working out of my home studio. I have
Okay.
2 studios at home in addition to the one at the box, and it's apparently 2 wasn't enough. So I've been here at the Box Factory since 2017, and it's curious. I've sort of divided the spaces between different media. So I work in acrylic or oil or watercolor at home, and the box is sort of my designated charcoal studio. So the pieces I'm working on, subject matter, to art terms, the subject matter and the content. They are pictures of a tiny little stream meandering through the grass down to a lake. The content is really metaphorical for the passage of my life or the passage of time. And so what I'm trying to do with these paintings is sort of set a kind of mood or a psychic kind of atmosphere, a tone from different things that are sort of in my past or inside my head. And so that's where they're going. So this is a preliminary study for, and this is done in charcoal here at the box at my charcoal studio.
Oh, yeah.
And this is probably the most like what I was seeing, just this little trickle of water going off to, at Oxbow, they call it the lagoon. And this one, using the color and the light in the larger painting, really kind of represents the idealism of my youth, the values that my parents instilled within me, and the notion that perhaps beyond this little mortal thing, there's a little pathway to something more glorious.
Oh, I love it. I love it just as it is, and then you explain that, and that's beautiful. That's
It's-
really poetic.
Well, thank you. It's not all on the surface.
Yeah.
Yeah, the poetry is really something I actively look for, and it's somewhat recent, I'll say. I've only really been a landscape painter for about 20 years.
Oh,
I wasn't going to be a landscape painter. I thought it was a tired old 19th century genre. I sort of forgot that the 2 things I love most are painting and being outdoors. Don't know why I didn't make that association sooner, but I walk around in the natural world and I absolutely see metaphors. I see these natural things as representing something else.
and so
And
it's
so it really is about poetry.
okay, and that's your primary muse.
Yes, exactly.
Is
Right.
that wow?
So this is a preliminary drawing. I've got about, eventually, I'm sort of superstitious about the number 13. My last name is Baker. So there will be 13 of these. I have about
Okay.
9 currently. But I say they're sort of preliminary for the larger things. But because I've been working on the big paintings for several months in the basement,
Mhm.
and the weather turned nice, I decided I needed to get out, and, get out in the sunshine.
Yeah.
So I started going down to one of our local beaches, this particular one, Rocky Gap,
Mhm.
with the notion I just paint the water and paint the sand and so forth. And down there, I found these
Oh my goodness.
structures, and they keep evolving. There new ones appear, and people dismantle these and make another one, and
Oh,
so
how
forth.
fun!
And so I started painting these, and now, of course, I'll have to have 13 of these.
Yeah.
But this one has a story, because, and these are probably 10 feet tall. And I don't build these things,
Mhm.
and they're exactly as I found them. I'm not editing anything. And I work for these en plein air. I don't work from photographs. And people ask, do you do the entire thing outdoors? And the answer is it's kind of a hybrid.
Okay.
I usually do 4 or 5 hours,
Oh, outside. and
sitting
then-
with sand in my shorts and then come inside and kind of polish them in the studio.
Okay, uh-huh.
But as I was painting this backstory or the cute story is, as I was painting, a couple of teenage boys walked by and they said,
Yeah.
what are they doing? And I had sort of prepared a little pet line. I said, well,
Yeah.
people actually build these things for me and leave them so I can come paint. And they took me at their words and
yeah.
built one.
Excellent.
And I came back not knowing that they had done this. And so about 2 weeks later, when I was out again, I painted the one that they had built. And they saw it on my Facebook page and somehow got a hold of it.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's
Said,
wonderful.
we're the guys because you told us to paint it. So theirs is 3 times this big. And not only that, they corresponded with me subsequently and are saying, yeah, you know, we went back and added to it, so we have to paint it again.
Oh,
So
sounds like a
theirs,
challenge to all our
yeah,
viewers.
exactly. It's like a
Let's see
challenge.
what we can get David to paint.
So this is the one they built.
Yeah. Oh,
And it has plywood on the top. It really is a little hut. I mean, you can
Yeah.
stand up inside it. It's wonderful. But as I say, it's at Rocky Gap, but it's 3 times as big now. You know, they've
wow.
added an annex and it's sided up and it's really crazy. But it's these 2 young guys saying,
And I've got to tell you,
David's gonna paint it, so.
the colors too. Wow.
Oh.
I just, because I'm close to it and can
Mhm,
see it in person, the detail and the colors are just amazing.
Well, thank you. That's kind of what I do.
So, yeah.
People,
Now, are there-
people sometimes say, well, yeah, when did you
What
pick
did-
this up? I said, about 50 years ago.
Yeah.
right.
And this is these are they available? Are you?
These are for sale, yeah,
So
and
how do
my
we get-
my watercolor is the size, and it's the same thing. This would be this same
Mhm.
size painting. It's a quarter sheet watercolor painting. So the frame size is 16 by 20, and these are $350. And if you go to my website, and again, David
Okay.
Baker Painter, I post
Yeah.
all the work that I'm working on currently. And just message me, and
Oh.
we'll find each other.
Absolutely, yes. Or hang around the beach and build
Or
something.
trip over me. and
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
find
there you
another.
go. All right. Well, thank you so much.
You're very
It's just been
welcome.
a pleasure talking
And
with
thank you
you.
for doing this. It's just a great program.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're more than welcome. Okay, all right. Thanks, David.
Mhm.
Okay, hey, let's talk about how we go to our website real quick. Let's do that. You go to boxfactoryforthearts.org. You're going to see that event page. You're going to go to that online auction button, and you're going to bid through Better World. And it showcases all this art that you're seeing. There'll be close-ups of all this work that you can see. And we're going to be taking bids until 11 o'clock tonight. So be sure to keep checking. If there's something you want, somebody's got until 11 o'clock to get that. So do that. And then if you do get something, we're going to be open on Friday for pickup from 12 to 6 and Saturday 12 to 4. And then if that doesn't work out for you, just get in touch with us. We'll make sure you get your art. All right. Now, I want to add some pet items. And I hope those are showing on your, oh, wait just a minute. There are some wonderful things. We have some great auction items for our pet lovers. We have Betsy Gill, graphic artist, and she's going to do a custom framed pet illustration. Betsy is one of the people who has been working so hard behind the scenes to make this show possible. So thank you, Betsy, for that. Look for her at Betsy Gill Designs on Facebook. Kim Woods also is offering a custom pet portrait at the box, or a custom pet portrait, and she's here at the box. And then For Black Paws has a collar and leash set. And if you're interested in that, you should go to the website, take a look at what that's all about, as we show you more art here at the box. We're coming over into another area of our galleries where you're going to see some great art, starting with the horizontal piece there, and that is Carol Myers' Sunset. It's a framed encaustic monotype. And next to it is 4 directions. And Carol Myers has been instrumental also in getting this show together. In fact, I believe she's working right now as we speak. And we want to thank you, Carol, for all you've done for the show. She's at Carol L. Myers Mixed Media Art on Facebook, and Carol L. Myers, all one word, .com. And you can see more of the things she does. And she's done a lot of things, not just these. And oh, Myers, of course, I'm sorry. M-Y-E-R-S. So it's M-Y-E-R-S. Carol is C-A-R-O-L, then an L, and then Myers, M-Y-E-R-S. Next to this, we have Robin Maxon, Tree on a Hill. That's a watercolor painting. Her favorite subjects are the coastline and the nature centers in this area. She's at robinmaxon.com. She also has an Etsy shop I discovered. I went down a few rabbit holes looking at all the art and the artist's work today. Then we have Lana Wright. This is an alcohol ink design. It's Dragonflies Forever. She is a weekend volunteer right here at the box when we're open. And I'll just bring that up again. Don't forget, you can also volunteer here at the box when we're open. They can always use your help for all the events and behind the scenes and obviously in front of the camera. All right, right here, we've got Susan Shermer, Dogwood Blossoms. This is a frame colored pencil. And then here we have Tom Fuller, the Lake House in St. Joe. Oh, what's that? And there, just so that you can see it. It's pretty big. And that is the Lake House here in St. Joe. And as I said, that one is a print. And then we have, and this is very interesting, this is Joel Brussel. It's called The Angle of Storms. It's a photograph printed on metal, and he has a lot of these on his website, which is brusselphotography.com. It's BRUSSELL photography.com. And then we have Sue Ellen Goss, St. Joseph Lighthouse. This is a photograph, of course, of our North Pier lighthouses. It's both the inner and outer light. And in case you're feeling, I'll step in front. In case you're feeling like you might be an artist too, check out what's available by Turquoise Top Hat. It's sign painting for 2, which is a lot of fun. And they guide you all the way and you end up with a beautiful finished product. Let's look at some of our household wares now. These are things for the home, and we're going to start with this plate. I'm going to very carefully pick this thing up. Isn't it gorgeous? This is Andrea F. Busky, or Busey maybe. I'm sorry about mispronouncing that. It's a ceramic plate, and it is food safe. It's called Flow and Crossings, and I think you can see that. I always find it interesting what artists name things. First I try to guess, and then I look at what they're called. Next to that, we have Rebecca Hungerford's pewter bowl. I'm going to show you this pewter bowl as well. There you go. Kind of gives you an idea. You can see my hand on the bowl. And she has the pewter shop. So if you're looking for her, go to pewtershop.com. And then we have here, and this makes me smile. Look at this wreath. It's by Susan Plee. It's a rag wreath. It's denim and red umbrella, or red bandana. And it is 14 by 16 and looks just right on the door or a wall. All right. Hey, if you're just joining us, let me remind you, you want to go to Box Factory for the Arts.org, and then you're going to click on the button that says go to event. Scroll down a little and you'll see an Aqua online auction. Click on that button and you'll be taken to the Better World website, which is the site that is running our auction for us. And to finish up our show, we're wrapping up this evening by talking with Bob Williams. Now, I'm going to say a little bit about Bob before he gets here. Bob Williams is a long-time member of the Box. He's been here for quite a while. I had the pleasure, as you heard, I was on the board for a year, and I had the pleasure of being with Bob. And he has been here, was instrumental in the purchasing of this building, and has wonderful stories to tell. Bob, come on over and be a part of us.
I'm a storyteller.
You're a storyteller, and you're a bag box person, and so I want to touch on that. Tell us your history of coming to the bag.
Well,
First bag.
of course, the bag started in 1962, and I didn't live here then. But actually, after moving back here, living here the second time in 1985, I joined the Berrien Artist Guild shortly after that, and worked my way up to be president of the guild sometime, I don't know, around 1990 or 90. Well, probably was about 94, something like that. But at any rate, we always met at the Krasl. That was our meeting space, and 3 years after the Krasl was built, and then all of a sudden we found ourselves without a home because they just had so many programs going on over there. They didn't have room for us to meet there anymore. So we had to try to find other places to meet, and we would meet at local restaurants, township halls, Cook nuclear plants, visitor centers.
All the artist places.
Yeah, all those places. Of course, none of those places could we actually paint in.
Right.
We could talk and, have programs, but that was it. So, all of a sudden one day I thought, we really need to have our own place. And so I started investigating around the Twin Cities area, some places in Benton Harbor. I was over there before the Arts District looking for places. And we looked at a couple places, or I said, I pretty much did it by myself. I was looking for places. And then one of our members who had been in the Box Factory suggested that I come in here. It had been an old box factory owned by the Williams company, but they closed it in about 1990, and it was owned by Win Wolf. And Win had several people in here renting space. And so one of our members, Rita Rogan, her name was, she had been in here looking for her own studio. And she decided, she was talking to me, and she said, you ought to come in here and see if this space might be good for the Artist Guild. So I came in and looked around and talked to Win about renting a space in here. And that's kind of where it started. And we were just going to rent one little corner of the building, kind of where the gallery is. It's named after me over there, the Williams Gallery. And that's the space we were going to rent. I don't know how deep you want me to go into this, but we applied for a grant with the Michigan Council for the Arts and Cultural Affairs. And we went to meet with Bill Sinclair, the city manager of St. Joe at the time. And he suggested that we go talk to the Makaka people, find out what the odds were that we would actually get this grant. Because, that's, they didn't want to go through a lot of effort if there was absolutely no chance we could get the grant. Yeah. And so I thought, at his suggestion, I called the Makaka people and talked to someone there, and they asked me, what our intentions were, what the space was like, and so forth. And they said, do you own the space? I said, well, no, we're going to rent it. They said, well, you have absolutely no chance then of getting the grant if you're just going to rent the space, because they didn't want to stick money into public money into private enterprise. So that made sense. So then we thought, well, what do we do about that? And I talked to Win Wolf about the fact that we couldn't get any money to actually rent the space. So he suggested that we do what he does, and that's buy the whole building and then rent it out to people. So
So you
that-
just did that.
we thought, well, that sounds like a good idea. So that's kind of where we stepped into it. And as it turned out, we wrote our application with that idea in mind, and we found out that we got the grant. It was a $120,000 grant from Makaka.
Oh.
60,000 of it, which was given to us, and the other 60,000 we had to match. So it meant a lot of work for us, but we had enough money to make a down payment on the building and to do some very vital things that needed to be done at the time. So we started on our way at that point. So we ended up getting the building, and then basically went through the whole building and started renovating every inch of it.
Yeah, because it is such a beautiful building, and you did such an incredible job. And
It's
so much work.
It's amazing,
I mean,
actually.
You were saying you were doing some sweeping up after they did the sandblasting.
A lot of the members all pitched in. At that time, the Makaka allowed us to use sweat equity to match the money. And so many of us, the guild members, were in here doing all kinds of work. We sandblasted this particular room was the first thing that we did to kind of renovate. And there was piles of sand every place, after sandblasting. So we get our shovels and trucks and shoveled all the sand out of here and put it in the trucks and hauled it away. And we could calculate $10 an hour for all that labor, and that helped us match the money. But, it's amazing, actually, that I think back at what this building looked like then. And of course, a lot of people told us that this was not going to happen. This was very unlikely that we would be successful with this project, including my own brother. Told me that because he's works for an architectural company. He did. He's retired now too. He said it's not a project you ought to do because old buildings are money pits, and we've kind of learned that too. But this building is so special, really, isn't it?
Charming old money pits.
Yes.
And no place like them. I mean, the floors, the exposed brick, and the beams.
And this
Incredible.
this
It's just
building
incredible.
was, I don't know what color green you call it. I call it ugly green.
Okay.
The bricks.
That's not the
And
crayon
all
box,
the-
ugly green.
The bricks and all the woodwork in here, except the floors, were painted this ugly green. So when we sandblasted them, to get what you see today, these bricks especially, aren't they beautiful when they're
The bricks,
without the ugly green paint on them? If you look close at the beams, you can see spots where you can see the ugly green paint still there.
Since you mentioned that when we were chatting the other day, I've been looking up. Yeah.
And the reason that's there is because at some point, something was taken down that was there when we sandblasted. So underneath that is ugly green paint.
So you were president of the Berrien Artist Guild. You were a Box board member for a long time.
Probably in the
You did.
last 25 years, I've been a board member, probably close to 20 of those years.
Wow.
Yeah. I got term limited a couple times.
But your dedication to the building and to BAG is really admirable, Bob. I mean, you really, I know the Box has gone through several different maybe reincarnations, if you will, or there are
It's true.
various.
We've gone through
things
lots
that
of different administrations
So,
operating the building. I mean, we started out originally, we had all volunteer help. I mean, our first original director, Mike Murphy, he volunteered his time originally until we got to the point where we could afford. I didn't mention it, but we rented the space out to a couple of times to some of our tenants that could afford to pay us enough money that we could actually hire a director instead of having to have a volunteer director. But so that's where it started, and then since then we've always had paid administration. But I think up to currently, where we
Right.
stand, we're pretty much volunteer again right now.
Kind of going back to the beginning, aren't we?
Times are tough.
Yeah. But it's wonderful to see so many artists and board members kind of step up.
There's a
And
certain
be part of
spirit
this.
among
There
our
is.
members. I think and sometimes when the going gets tough, it seems like the spirit and passion of our artists comes out, and people gang together and really it's happened so many times. I know I told you the story the other day about where, several times we were kind of like in tears because we didn't know how we were going to continue. And it's like divine intervention. Something happened which allowed us to continue, and just all of a sudden came to meet our needs. It's amazing how that happened. Going back to our original concept is the same thing. Who would have ever thought we could do this? And I've talked to several people who have come from other cities who look at the building we have here and what we have, and they said, come to our place and help us, tell us how we can do that. And I've said, I would not recommend you do this, because unless you have, God's help, you probably, you might not be successful, because it's amazing what it's taken to continue on with going through all the troubles we've had.
Well, I think it's a testament to the artists who are here, the other members, and really the community, and the community's understanding that this is a special place, and this is someplace that needs to remain.
And we feel, I think the artists here feel, so happy and trying to think of the word, appreciative of the city and the county, all the people who support us, because we're just a bunch of artists and we just want to create. And we'd love to have you buy our thing, but basically you've helped us have our dream, which is to have a place to create and put our work on display. So that's what it's all about. If it wasn't for people supporting us, obviously this couldn't happen either. So people are already doing a great job of continuing what we're doing.
Well, we certainly do appreciate you, and I do want to mention that this piece is by Bob. I'll let you close up on that. And also, Bob is offering some commissioned work.
Yeah, typically
Right.
I'm more of a portrait artist. I do, my passion is creating portraits of people. That's what I love to do. And so even my website is Face Artist. It's called Face Artist, and I have my initials rrw.com. That's my website. So Face Artist is my handle, basically. It's my website and for my email address. So that's what I do. But sometimes I create other things like this St. Joe carousel. It's done in pencil, colored pencil. And I don't do a lot of colored pencil. I don't do a lot of pieces like this, but it's something that I can do and spend my spare time at when I'm kind of idly sitting in front of the TV or something. So that's kind of.
Oh yeah, me too. Idly in front of the TV. And your commission, you're offering.
I'm offering a portrait commission. Well, it could be anything, but I have this planned on it being a portrait commission. The value is $1,000, which basically I charge $500 a head. So that's basically an oil portrait commission for 2 people. That would be head and shoulders. But it could be used for a family if you wanted to have a family done in charcoal or pastel, because those prices are lower. Like charcoals are $100 a head. So, you could have 10 people done for $100 a head, or $300 a head typically in pastel. So you could get 3 done for that price. So it could be used wherever you want.
The one that you chose to put up, those are adorable children. I don't know whose grandchildren those would possibly be.
I wonder.
I don't know.
They were
Do
beautiful.
they look a little bit like me?
Beautiful kids. Do you have that picture hanging at your house?
I do. As a matter of fact, I do. Well, Bob, thank you so much. Really appreciate you giving us all this information and being a part of all of this. And we're definitely going to raise the box. That's what we're
Well, that's
here for,
great. And
people.
I know I was looking through the bids earlier, and there's a lot of things yet that haven't been bid on. So we certainly would appreciate if you go look at the items. And most of them, you may not realize how much value is there, because unless you click on them, you don't know what the actual value is. On my phone, for example, I saw a number there, but I didn't know what that meant. If you click on it, you can find out under there what the actual value of that piece is. Most of them start at half their value.
I noticed that as well.
You can bid that as low as half the value of the piece. And so what a deal that is.
Yeah.
So please get out there and bid.
Okay, well, and thank you so much.
Thank you,
Bob.
guys.
So this brings us to the end of our Raise the Box 3-day event. You have until 11 tonight to continue to bid and to look at some of these things that we've shown you. I want to thank the artists who have given their work, the people who have supported all that we're doing, the members of the committee. And in particular, those members are Breeze Edel, Lynn Cristiano, Nicole Brown, Betsy Gill, Denise, who is also working our camera, and John Bougerol, Kristen Hosbein, Jennifer Tomshak, Carol Myers, and Michelle Rumsa. Our special thanks to all you guys who worked so hard to make this such a great event. We're also very grateful for the expertise of Carol and Betsy to get this out there and into your homes. We're thankful for Ed Bagattini and his revival of the Cool Jazz Tentet that played last night. They were wonderful. And a huge thank you to Brian Lubick and his team for recording, editing, and mixing the Bagattini revival of the Cool. We couldn't do this without the fearless leadership from Judy Sokolowski and Scott Gaines, and we're very grateful for them. And of course, we're also grateful for you, the viewers, and those who are supporting the arts right now by bidding on these wonderful items. It's clearly a special place with a wonderful history that we need to keep in our community. We need these creaky floors and these exposed brick walls, and mostly we need the people and the ideas that are in here and are being shared. So we thank you so much for helping us to raise the box. I'm going to do it one more time because I've done it so often. This is how you're going to bid. You're going to go to boxfactoryforthearts.org. You will click on the button that says Go to Event. That will take you to the online auction button. It's aqua. And you're going to hit that. You will see all the art through the Better World site. And it's there that you can place your bid. And we're thankful to the Better World people for providing a platform for our auction. And so if you're able to tip them a little, that would be great as well. Thanks to everyone for all you've done. Become a member. Come join us for some of these events. And let's raise the box together. Good night. And